Welcome to Gateway. 1.25 miles of pure adrenaline. Tonight, the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series battles it out at the track with long straights and tight corners. Who will take the win here at Gateway tonight? Who will move up in the points? And who will be crowned king of the 1.25 miler? Live tonight, only on Knapp Daddy Racing. It's the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. We are live.
Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, welcome back to Knapp Daddy Racing and welcome back to the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. As always, my name is Hunter Foley, up here in the booth with my broadcast partner, Jonathan Smith. Had a week off last week, but we are excited to be back here with you at Worldwide Technology Raceway, otherwise known to most people as Gateway. Sure to be an exciting night of racing here. We got the guys out on the track, already getting their qualifying laps in here. One lap of qualifying tonight for these drivers. So we'll be getting some times rolling in on that here in just a second. But before we do that, John, talk to me a little bit about Gateway and what these guys are going to be seeing out here tonight.
Yeah, it's been a nice week off from both of our leagues, but excited to be back tonight. But yeah, out here at Gateway, I actually really like Gateway a whole lot. It's just a tough track. Turn 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 are completely different from each other. Try to pull up some info for you here so you can see that track there. You can see how tight turn 1 is compared to turn 3 when you're entering there. But it's going to be tough. You're going to have to be on your brakes pretty hard coming into turn 1 especially. Probably going to be riding that mid to low side, maybe diamonding out of that corner a little bit, hoping to keep it straight, keep the wheels under it. You should get on the throttle a little bit. But other than that, man, it's going to be a fun race. It's going to be very tough for a bunch of these guys. See if they can hold it together here. See who gets to the end.
I was going to say, I feel like your enjoyment of Gateway might be one of those unpopular racing opinions that you have, but either way, it should be a very exciting night of racing here in the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. We're going to be doing 120 laps here tonight. And that is going to be on 65% fuel with one fast repair available to these drivers. No, Gateway takes a lot of getting used to, especially in the very beginning while the track's first still warming up. So kind of expecting to see a little bit of moving around. So going to have to be strategic with how they use that fast repair here tonight.
Watching Chris McCullough just cut some grass for us here. Make sure it's all nice and trim, short. He hits the pit road. Same thing for Ryan Moyer, that 59 next car.
Yeah, very nice of him to take care of the landscaping while he's out there trying to put his qualifying lap down. We do have a couple drivers who have already put their laps down here. We've got Thomas Kirkman, newcomer to the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series, currently holding the first position in qualifying with a 34.94. That's going to be the fastest time by, I believe, about 200ths of a second right now. And that's going to be over Jake Euler in that number 7 machine. Thomas Kirkman is going to be a new driver for the 5-8 Motorsports team. Going to be teammates over there with Cody Bullock, Jay Vaught, and Simon Grills. One thing to note as well that his car does have the number 1 on it. I believe that's just because they're still trying to get things set up. He will be racing number... Or his car originally was saying 7, but he will be racing number 1. I think they might have gotten it fixed, and it might say 1 now, but...
We'll find out regardless.
We will find out regardless. But of the, looks like we have 7 drivers who have put down a qualifying time. You're going to have Thomas Kirkman there in that pole position right now. Jake Euler is going to get second place there. Brandon Trush in the 23 machine going to have third. Simon Grills in the 13 car has fourth. Craig Bontrager is going to have fifth. Jay Vaught is going to be sixth. Christopher McCullough is going to be seventh. Cody Bullock going to be eighth. And as I say that, we have a new pole sitter, it looks like, and it looks like it's going to be Jeremy Gardner.
I've noticed a lot of people having trouble hitting these pits here tonight. Craig Bontrager went out there and ran 1 lap and shut her down. Same thing with Tyler Justice getting 1 lap in.
They did 1 lap qualifying tonight.
Okay. Because I see Kenneth McCullough still ripping some laps around here, which I use the same strategy. Use that qualifying time to get some extra practice in.
Absolutely. It looks like we are going to have, at least as of right now, going to have 14 drivers out on the track tonight. It's like 10 have currently put down a qualifying lap. Still do have a couple minutes left to get a qualifying lap in. Looks like we have about 5 minutes left in qualifying, but just as a little bit of a recap, we had last week off for Memorial Day. So if we have any veterans out there in the audience, first of all, thank you very much for your service. We appreciate it. But we did take a week off last week to celebrate some time and have time with our families and take a little break and everything. But we are back here at Gateway. Our last race was at North Wilkesboro, and that race went to Jeremy Gardner.
Yeah, Jeremy's been fast all year. I think he's only got 2 races under his belt with us now. Came in second in the first one and then first place in the second one. But, I mean, he had a shot to win at Dover in his first race here, too. I think some pit timing, I think that's what it was, got to him. It wasn't the strategy itself. I think it was something about entering the pits or something like that. But regardless, still very fast and was still there at the end trying to close it out. Still got that podium spot. I think he's going to move up in the points pretty quickly. Craig Bontrager is going to take 7th place there.
Yeah, Jeremy's been, like you said, he's only had 2 races with us here in the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series, but has definitely been showing off his talent, and you can tell definitely a very, very experienced driver. Ran a incredible race at North Wilkesboro. There was several other drivers that were very, very fast and had a good shot at that one, and Jeremy was just able to pull it out at the end.
I don't see anybody else that might go out there and qualify. Jacob Hutnick has yet to put down a lap. I do have Kenneth McCullough, who has put down 2 laps with no time, and Ryan Moyer has put down a lap with no time. So maybe some wall damage for him there that deleted the time. Not sure about Jacob Hutnick. I haven't seen him out there yet.
And we're going to be doing stage breaks. Just heard him call over the radio. We're going to have our stage breaks at 35 and 70. Those will be caution flagged, and they will be able to come down pit road for those stage breaks. Got Gabriel in the comments saying they are live again. LOL. Hey, good to have you in here with us, Gabriel. Gabriel's a friend from over on the Knapp Daddy Racing TikTok channel. And then Jeremy Gardner reminding that he didn't take tires at Dover.
That's what it was. I was about to say, it wasn't like I don't think it was like I don't know. I thought it was something that just like happened on pit road, but yeah, still very fast. I mean, up there at the very end, but you all right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you fell in the background there.
No.
But while we're sitting here, we got maybe one more person left to qualify before this race starts. So why don't you tell us about our sponsors here?
I can handle that. As we mentioned earlier, this is the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. So a huge shout out to Sunbelt Rentals for not only having us up here in the booth and having these drivers out on the track, but giving them all a little something to race for as the season goes on in each of these individual races. So huge shout out to Sunbelt Rentals for making this whole thing happen. If you or someone you know has a construction project going on and you need a piece of equipment, be sure to check out your local Sunbelt Rentals. They have everything to get your job done, all the way from your residential, do it around the house projects, all the way up to the big commercial industrial projects. I've worked with Sunbelt Rentals on several occasions and have been treated with nothing but absolute professionalism and people that really know what they're doing and want to help. So again, I can recommend them highly, and we thank them again so much for keeping this league going and keeping us up here in the booth. And then if this is the first time that you are catching a Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series race over here on Knapp Daddy Racing, myself and John make up Knapp Daddy Racing. We started as a iRacing design and template shop last year, and have kind of tried to grow to be the one-stop shop for all of your potential iRacing needs. So if you have a need for any new custom paints, templates, logos, whatever the case may be, you need a broadcaster, whatever the case may be sure to check us out over on our website at napdaddyracing.com. We can be found live here every single Monday night, except when we're off for the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. And then we also are live on TikTok as often as possible. All the social media, all that good stuff is at Knapp Daddy Racing. So be sure to follow and like and subscribe and all those other cringe things that we have to say as part of being on this platform. But we are hugely thankful to Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series for having us up here in the booth. It's been a really fun season so far, and we appreciate all the support from everybody that's joining us. Got Nathan Fox out there in the comments saying, hello everyone, go RER, go Bontrager, and Kathy Trush saying Team Trush, number 23. Keep those comments rolling in. We will be reading them as the race goes on. After the race is broadcast live, we do put it up on the channel so the drivers can go back and watch it. You can go back and watch it. I don't know, a lot of these guys love being able to go back and hear the comments and hear people cheering them on. So we appreciate it. Keep them coming.
Absolutely. Love to hear it. But while we're here, we got these guys starting to grid up now. Jeremy Gardner has not gridded up for us yet. We'll just do a quick little grid walkthrough. Starting off in your first place position is going to be Jeremy Gardner on that left side. Front row on that second row, or front row, second place on his outside is going to be Thomas Kirkman. Second row is going to be made up of Jake Euler and Brandon Trush. Next row is going to be Simon Grills and Craig Bontrager. Then we have Greg McConey starting in 7th place. Jay Vault is going to be starting here in 8th place. We have Tyler Justice and Christopher McCullough is going to be making up that 5th row. And then Cody Bullock and Ryan Moyer starting 11th and 12th beside each other. See if we can get to the next parts here. And then Kenneth McCullough, who did not put down a qualifying time. Follow right beside him was Jacob Hutnick, who also did not put down a qualifying time.
We have 14 drivers that are going to line them up here tonight for the action at Gateway. As we said earlier, it is going to be a 120 lap race here. They are going to have 65% on the fuel tanks and one fast repair that can be used at any point, but you got to be strategic about how you use that. We will have stage breaks at 35 and 70. Those will be 4 points. You get 10 bonus points for winning a stage, and that goes all the way back to 1 point for finishing in 10th at the end of the stage. Rusty Rafferty out there as we're getting ready to get this thing going, saying go RER. Jeffrey Trush saying let's go 23 for Brandon Trush. I believe we are about to get him going here.
There we go.
Yeah, pace.
Correct a quick volume issue, but we are back now.
Pace car is off, and we are underway. Green
There's
flag, and we are
wreck.
stacked up and wrecking already.
That's the newcomer, Thomas Kirkman, driving that number 7 machine Walmart car. I did not have that on my bingo card.
That looked like that might have been a money shift.
See if we can go back to this green flag here. Oh yeah, he got loose when he shifted. Let's see if we can ride along with Brandon Trush here, who was starting that second row right behind him.
But Greg McConey's going to get caught up in that, and Craig Bontrager might also have a little bit of front end damage.
Yikes. Well, hopefully nobody has to use their fast repair that quickly, though, because that would be a shame.
That would definitely be a shame. It looks like we got everybody that's going to get them stacked right back up. I don't think there should be too much damage. I don't think they had enough speed really built up to do much damage, but definitely a interesting way to get the race started. Like I said, it just looks like you got a little bit loose on the shift there.
Yeah. Give us your picks while we're sitting here pacing, almost coming around to green here. 2 to green.
Let's see here. Gonna have 2 to green. I saw where they extended it. I think they're just trying to make sure everybody can get their repairs done here. Let's see. I'm gonna go Jeremy Gardner. I know it's cheap taking the pole winner, but just looking at the numbers based off of the practice and the qualifying time and everything else like that. And also, like we talked about earlier, no one really knows how everyone's opinion is going to be here at Gateway. This could be a good or a bad track for a lot of people. So I think Jeremy Gardner probably going to go pole to victory lane here. And if I was not going to say Jeremy Gardner, my second pick was actually going to be Greg McConey.
Good pick. It's a good pick. Solid pick. I'm going with Brandon Trush tonight in that 23 car. That thing looks nice. And I might be a little biased because he does have the Knapp Daddy on the side of it. But, yeah, I'm going with Brandon Trush.
He does look sweet.
Got a good start here tonight. I mean, he's already moved up to 3rd place off 1 lap. So, you know.
Good jump.
Yeah, that's how good he is right now. So. I think he might keep pushing also with the Knapp Daddy scheme. Doing his debut scheme right here is going to be Jake Euler, that Bravo car number 7. A little self-promotion, you know. I do what I can.
Either way, that thing looks sweet.
And speaking of promotion, want to give the old Trash Panda boys a shout for giving us our debut of our Rocky cam here. Rocky's been in a little bit of trouble, so Rocky's actually going to help us out tonight, and he's trying to repent for his ways, is what I was told by Greg McConey.
Work release.
Yeah, he's on work release. He might have an ankle monitor right now, but it's all right. They'll let him come to the track, and he's going to be out here in turn 1 just recording for us.
Seems like that might be a rough place to be for a little baby raccoon.
Well, he's really got to show his worth here, you know. He's been causing some mischief lately. He turned the lights out on us at North Wilkesboro last week. I've seen him going around with a nail and poking holes in people's tires and stuff like that. And throwing quarters in people's cars right before inspection, so got to watch out for that, Rocky.
Can't help but think that when I think of like a little raccoon running around poking holes with people's tires with a nail and doing like the Muttley laugh.
We're about to go back green here. Better jump from everybody.
Yeah, much better jump there, but a great jump for Jeremy Gardner. Immediately off to a huge jump there. Jake Euler was going to be there on the high side of Brandon Trush. Looks like Brandon Trush is going to be able to get up and get that position away. Somebody is falling back down there on that low side. Looks like that might be Cody Bullock.
Yeah, and it's hard when you see people passing you like this early on in a race, but you got to think, man, there's 14, 13 laps left to go. Save your tires, buy your time. You'll be up there at the front. And Cody's he's fast. He knows when to turn it on. Greg McConey is making a push here, though. He is not waiting around. Uh-oh. Got loose, able to save it. Everybody's dodging him. That's some good driving.
A little bit of allergies there.
Yeah, some good driving by everybody to get around. Greg McConey got a little loose coming up there to the front. Tires might be a little cold still. Jeremy Gardner's taking off with this right now, though.
Yeah, already built his way out to about a second of a lead here. Still got Brandon Trush in second place and Jake Euler to be there in third. Simon Grills biding his time back there in fourth. Ryan Moyer is moving his way up from 12th to 8th at this point. And then have seen a little bit of a fallback for guys like Thomas Kirkman, who started in second place, now back in 10th. And Craig Bontrager also involved in that first green flag caution that we had there, started in 6th. It's going to be back in 11th right now.
Jeremy Gardner going all the way down to third gear coming through turn 1 and 2. That's going to allow him to get a little bit more push off of here, use some engine brake to slow that car down to get around the corner. Also gives him a little bit more rotation on throttle too.
Yeah, when I was doing my my research before this race, because I think this is only the first or second race I've ever actually broadcasted for Gateway. I was reading how people would compare it to other tracks, and it seemed like a lot of people drew the comparison in 1 and 2 with how narrow it is, with it scooching up there to the interstate to New Hampshire. And then a lot of people said that the 3 and 4 in the backstretch were a lot more like Phoenix, where you kind of have that wider track, multiple lines you can kind of run. Really just depends on the car you have. Oh, another big wobble out of Greg McConey back there towards the back. Looks like he's going to fall back to the last position there, as Tyler Justice and Thomas Kirkman are able to work their way by right there.
Yeah, I can definitely see. I think I was telling somebody else last week about Gateway, how it is kind of feels like a New Hampshire a little bit, with just a little more banking, not as flat. Mainly because how hard you have to get on the brake as you're coming to the corner, really slow that car down, ease the throttle around. You'll see these guys float up all night, as some of them are coming a little too hot. Some of them are doing that as a strategy. You might see some guys come in a little high and exit lower as the run goes on, but turn 3 and 4, man, it's a different story. It's like driving 2 different tracks on both ends.
Speaking of somebody that seems like they're driving a different race, Jeremy Gardner, 3.1 seconds of a lead right now, and just increased it by another full half second there on that lap. 3.675 is going to be his lead now, and we're only on lap 13.
You can hear him gearing down as he's going to that corner. Kenneth McCullough Jr. has been moving his way up 10 spots already in 4th place.
Yeah, he is a man on a mission. He is flying, and it looks like he's catching Simon Grills right now there in the 3rd position.
I missed what happened to Jake Euler. He was up there in 3rd. It looked like he was about to try to take 2nd place. Now he's falling back a little bit. See if we can see any damage on his car. Not that I can see around the car. Maybe got a little loose or something, fell back. Maybe just trying to save some tires.
How important is tire saving going to be here at Gateway? I know we have that stage break at lap 35, or a lot of these drivers going to notice a big fall off by 35, or what's kind of your experience been?
I mean, I haven't raced at this track in probably 6 or 7 months now, so I cannot accurately say, but I know that for a fact that your left sides probably might not be as big of a factor as your right sides will be here. I think later on the run you might see some guys only take 2 tires on the right side if it gets late. It won't really affect your car as much, but definitely the hard part is driving in too hot into a corner and burning up that right front. Brandon Trush is falling back in that 4th place spot. Kenneth McCullough Jr. up now 11 spots, sitting in P3. Simon Grills up in 2nd place.
It's like Jake Euler and Ryan Moyer were going back and forth at it there for a second. Oh, big wiggle out of Cody Bullock. He's trying to save it, but he's going to be cutting grass. I believe that is going to send him all the way back to the back of the pack there.
It also looks like Chris McCullough got loose at the same time back there as well. Chris able to hold on to a little bit more.
Yeah, that is going to put Cody Bullock way off the pace now, though. He'll be almost 15 seconds behind off of the leader's pace, and now has a 3-second gap of separation between him and Christopher McCullough. Well, he said also got a little bit loose there.
Right along here with Simon Grills right now. Looks like he's running a 4-gear setup. I believe that Jeremy Gardner was going to 5th.
Was going all the way down to 3rd and then going up to 5th?
Yeah. But he's holding it pretty well. I mean, he's sitting there in 2nd place right now, 6 seconds behind. Gardner might have, I think he went up to 5th earlier this race, but it looks like now he's only staying in 4th as the run goes on. Might be how his stuff is set up. As the track goes on or the race goes on, you might not have to shift to 5th gear. Yes, he's keeping it in 4th now in that backstretch.
Looking at Jake Euler, who is able to just work his way around Jay Vaught there, and that's going to be for the 6th position. Kenneth McCullough Jr. up there in 3rd, still trying to run down. Simon Grills only got about a half a second of separation between the two of them right now, but they still have about 6 seconds to go before they catch up to Jeremy Gardner, who has just absolutely taken off with this thing. Got Johnny in the comments saying Bullock in last. Wow. He hasn't been in last most of the race. Fortunately, just got a little bit loose a few laps ago, and that sent him back to the back of the pack. It was actually a really good save to not have a huge spin out. Did cut a little bit of grass, but was able to get it back on the track in one piece.
It's like Tyler Justice gets around Jay Vault there. He's moving up. Somebody's loose. That's Chris McCullough down the front stretch. Able to keep it straight. Keep on pushing forward.
Heard him just come over the radio and just go, whew. Got Johnny again in the comments saying something may be wrong with the one car. He little wiggle out of him there for sure. He might be dealing with a little bit of damage, not 100% sure. He was involved in the very first caution of the race. He qualified in 2nd. That's Thomas Kirkman, newcomer to the league. And I think he just got a little bit loose on initial shift and ended up stacking the top lane up and might be dealing with a little bit of damage there if he didn't want to use that fast repair this early in the run.
Yeah, so we're riding along with him right here, man. You can see how much patience this track takes because you want to get in the gas. You think you can get to the gas a little earlier, but Thomas Kirkman doing a really good job keeping that wheel tape as straight up as possible, trying to save his tires, not really getting into the throttle until he's got those wheels pointed straight.
Because that's how you're going to end up cutting grass.
Absolutely. Popping the wall, hitting the grass, you know, laying a little concrete, cutting a little grass. Which is why we are sponsored here by Sunbelt Rentals at the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. Thank you very much, Sunbelt Rentals. That's 1 point for me tonight on the transitions.
You need to lay a little concrete, whether it's at your house or at your racetrack. Sunbelt Rentals.
We ain't talked about Jacob Hutton tonight. This guy's up 8 spots right now. Jake Euler goes around, tries to save it, pops the wall. We are still green. He's able to pull it up to the track. Trying to get that dirt off the tires here.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a lot of damage, but he definitely did get into the wall there.
It's like Kenneth McCullough Jr. is trying to make a run here at Simon Grills.
That is going to send Jake Euler almost all the way back to the back of the pack. He's going to be now in 13th. Only has Cody Bullock behind him. Jay Vaught also slid back a couple of spots. He's going to be back in 12th now. Both by their own virtue and by a couple guys in front of him getting a little loose. Tyler Justice and Greg McConey been working their way back up towards the front as well.
Check back in with the leader here, Jeremy Gardner, and out to a 9-second lead.
And it really, at this point, just seems like it's growing. And he has something figured out right now that just seems like nobody else does right now. I mean, 9 seconds in 27 laps. And when you think about it with the lap times that these guys are running, I mean, he's about a third of the track ahead of everybody else. And you are going to have guys like Jay Vaught, Jake Euler, and Cody Bullock who are about 20 seconds off of the leader. If they can't really get something going, they're going to find themselves in trouble getting lapped here with, I believe, 7 to go left in this stage.
Yeah, pulling up the deltas here, you can see that Jeremy Gardner has made up about 2.5 seconds, or about 2.2 seconds in the past 6 laps over top of Simon Grills. Looks like it's continuing to grow as our little pyramid keeps growing out to the right more and more here.
Johnny again back in the comments saying that Bullock's going to need the whole rest of the field to get DQ'd to even have a chance. He's going to be running over there once they get everybody in pit road and in victory lane at the end of the race. He's going to be running over with the micrometer and the calipers, making sure that everybody passes inspection.
It's probably going to call our old friend Rocky to go over there and maybe loosen some screws on a windshield or something.
Man, that'd be horrible. You're just in the car flying around this thing 130 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden your windshield flies off. That does not sound like a good time.
I forget who did that in a race. If somebody in the comments can tell me, I think it was Kevin Harvick on his last year, maybe? Or was it Denny Hamlin? It's been recent. They loosened up the screws on the windshield, and it gave him a little advantage.
It's helping with like wind drag, I guess.
I reckon. I don't know.
Interesting. I don't remember that one. We have 4 laps to go here in this first edition green flag run. We have been caution free, except for the very first lap where Thomas Kirkman got a little bit loose on shift. Stacked up a couple cars. I believe it gave Craig Bontrager and Greg McConey a little bit of damage, but they've been able to recover since then. Other than that, haven't had any cautions. Had a couple guys get loose. Cody Bullock, Jake Euler, all got very loose. Christopher McCullough as well. They were able to save it and stay out there on the track.
And I appreciate this league for keeping it green as much as they do. Had not a debate, just kind of a listening and disagreeing with the person as they were trying to explain what a caution should and shouldn't be. And they were very aggressive with that yellow flag, like ready to throw it right now. So I think I could cough in the car and they would throw a yellow flag. But I appreciate a league that keeps it green, lets the guys drive a little bit, you know. I don't like to see yellow flags up in the booth. I also don't like to see yellow flags when I'm racing. I want to see what I can do and see if I can make that car extend out a little bit. And I think some of these guys are relying on a longer run strategy here.
Well, I think I'd say venture to take a guess here that most of the drivers right now would love a caution.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, they're just going to bring it down pit road, get fresh tires. We've already seen what Jeremy Gardner can do.
Yeah, what a pickup Jeremy Gardner's been for the RER Racing team. Come into the league, first 2 races, gets second, gets first, and then now has built an 11-second lead before we've even had our first initial stage. I mean, this guy's going to be a problem.
I think Ryan Moyer can make a good run here tonight, too. I mean, he's fast. He had, what do you say, 15 minutes of practice at Sonoma that one week and still went out there and won it.
Yep.
So I think it's just a matter of him figuring out the track tonight and going out there and doing it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I mean, this stage is a loss. Jeremy Gardner just absolutely blew everybody else out of the water here. He had a strategy, and he stuck to it for these first 35 laps. Absolutely demolished the rest of the field. Convincing win for him. Simon Grills and Kenneth McCullough Jr. looking like they're going to comfortably take the other top 3 spots here in this stage. But then after that, it's just going to be getting down, like you said, getting down to pit road, getting some fresh tires, and thinking, well, you can think a lot of things, but I think the main thing right now is just going to be how, in God's good name, are we going to run down Jeremy Gardner?
Yeah, like I don't really love stage cautions, but at the same time, it does give you a chance to reevaluate what happened on that first little stint there and go out there and try to correct some things. Maybe I can run it a little harder. Maybe I can back off just a little bit more if you're Jeremy Gardner. Save up just in case there is a few yellow flags or it does extend out either way. But that brings us to our first caution into stage 1. Your winner is going to be Jeremy Gardner by about 12 seconds, followed by Simon Grills, and you have Kenneth McCullough Jr. in 3rd place. Brandon Trush taking it in 4th, and Ryan Moyer in 5th. Ryan Moyer driving up 7 spots to get that 5th place spot.
Like you said, he's definitely going to be fast. He's been fast all season long. I believe he's our winningest driver in the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series right now. So definitely has what it takes. Just got to be able to figure out how to get around this track here.
I'm assuming everybody's taking 4 tires.
I would say it's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, if I just had to go out on a whim here and guess.
And I did just see on my other screen here, we had the camera on the 13 of Simon Grills. It looked like the car was just plain white. He does have a paint scheme on that car. Trading paints can be a little fickle sometimes.
Chris McCullough's going to be pulling out of pit row, following Greg McConey there. It's like Jay Vault's coming out now after repairing some damage. Same thing with Jake Euler sitting there repairing some damage. I believe Hutnick had to repair some damage as well. He moved up 5 spots in that run there, but still had about a 68-second pit stop.
Shoo.
Well, 68-second pit lane time, I should say.
I don't know what's going on with Simon's car there, but it is not showing up on stream. Don't know what's going on with trading paints there.
I was going to say it was pretty cool. Very minimalist. Very contemporary.
Very modern.
Reminds me of one of those like fancy restaurants you go to and there's nothing on the walls or anything. It's like the more plain the restaurant looks, I feel like the more expensive it is. It's a very minimalist approach.
And they are back out on the track, getting it back double file. Just heard them come over the radio. Sounded like they're having maybe some iRacing issues. That's what's caused it to go on a little bit longer. But they are getting it back going here. Top 5 is going to be Jeremy Gardner, Ryan Moyer, Craig Bontrager, Simon Grills, and Brandon Trush as we come to the green flag here.
That was a really good jump there by Craig Bontrager and Simon Grills side by side with each other. Also, Ryan Moyer up there in that front row to keep up with Gardner. Gardner's just so much faster through turn 1 and 2 there.
Yeah, he is flying through there. Looks like a better entry out of Ryan Moyer there. Looks like he was able to close the distance a little bit there. But just what a jump out of Jeremy Gardner. Just immediately building such a big lead right back immediately. Oh, car around.
That's going to be Craig Bontrager. It's going to move all the way to the back now.
So you got just a little bit loose on that exit.
Woo. That 7 car, Thomas Kirkman, just avoids him.
Able to get it safely down to the bottom of the track and back out there with, I would assume, little to no damage. Currently looking like only Ryan Moyer has anything in the tank for Jeremy Gardner.
Yeah, he's kind of making some time here.
Yeah, Ryan Moyer about a half a second back on Jeremy Gardner right now. The distance between Jeremy Gardner and third place Simon Grills is already going to be 2.1 seconds.
Check back in with that again in a second. Right now we have Jacob Hutnick and Kenneth McCullough Jr. going at it, trying to gain some spots here. I think Jacob Hutnick repaired some damage under caution, so he is looking to get that car back out there and up towards the front.
Got Greg McConey that's picking up spots again as well. He's back up to 6th place after falling all the way to the back of the pack earlier on after getting loose twice on that first green flag run. Here he is trying to look to the inside of Thomas Kirkman for that 5th position.
So I got Jay Vault just jumped to the pits. Take a look.
What's that now?
Jay Vault jumping to the pits. I'm not sure what happened there.
He's going to be our first car that goes a lap down tonight. Not sure if he's working on damage or what ended up happening right there.
Yeah, Ryan Moore is putting the heat on right now.
He definitely is. He has gained time on Jeremy Gardner. Only 0.2 of separation right now between Ryan and the leader, Jeremy Gardner.
Yeah, he's looking too. He's trying to set something up.
He is trying to set it up, and they are kind of running away with it right now. Simon Grills and Brandon Trush, who are your third and fourth place drivers right now, going to already be about 3.5 and 3.8 seconds back, respectively.
Like Thomas Kirkman making a pass here on Brandon Trush. McConey's looking to do the same thing. All over his bumper.
And good on Kirkman to bounce back from very, very tough start of the race, like we talked about earlier. He had that, I don't know if it was a missed shift or if the tires just spun really bad on him or what ended up happening, but to have that accident happen on the very first lap of the race, that can definitely be something that gets into your head. And he obviously did not let it do that and is back up there running a very confident top 5 right now.
Could you imagine just driving past this track and seeing like smoke come up, somebody wrecking right beside the highway?
Well, I'm trying to get home from work.
Yeah. Just trying to get my Bojangles, man.
And they don't even have Bojangles out there. Drove a long way for that Bojangles.
Yeah, that Uber Eats bill is going to be expensive. What they do have right now, though, is a very hot track sitting at 116 degrees, which is definitely going to play a big factor in these guys' tires and how loose it's going to be tonight as well. A little bit of wind, not too much, blowing about 8 miles per hour, almost in a north direction, but yeah, probably a little bit northwest. But
who's counting?
Yeah, 330 degrees.
I am counting that as a point for you, though.
Thank you, thank you. I got 2 tonight. Put it on the books.
I wanted to do one right there, but it just would have been so obvious and cheesy that I couldn't make myself do it. You should put it on the books. I was going to be like, well, look who is booking it. It's Jeremy Gardner.
That's the thing about the transitions. You got to work them in just right. You don't get a point if it's too obvious or too egregious, you know?
Yeah, that one just... I hated myself more just saying that out loud, but Jeremy Gardner is able to build out a little bit more separation between him and Ryan Moore. It's approaching half a second again, but they are both still continuing to pull away from the rest of the field here. Now have almost 5 seconds on the third place driver, Simon Grills, and then at least 5 seconds on everybody else.
Yeah, it's like Ryan Moore is trying to diamond it just a little bit more to get straight coming out of that corner. Oh, drives in a little hot coming into turn 3 and 4 there. Yeah, those cars are loose, man. You can hear them half throttle trying to get through it.
Phew. That track is slippery. I know you mentioned it a few minutes ago as well that Jay Vaught had brought it down pit road. Looks like he has also called it a night. He is going to be down there in 14th and 7 laps down at this point.
Got Trush up here. Looked like he was about to get passed by McCullough for a second, able to pull it off. McConey still at Grills. Trying to make that move into 4th place. Kirkman's all the way up to 3rd place again here.
Yeah, I know we were just talking about it a few minutes ago. Really cool to see Thomas Kirkman bounce back from that first little incident on lap 1 and now back into the top 3, and looks like he's trying to move his way forward and get that podium finish.
Yeah, guys starting to space out here now. Kind of giving each other a little bit more room to race with.
Like you said, I think we were talking about it just a few seconds ago, where you're like, with the track that's this hot and as loose as you can hear from the inside of the cars, how much throttle they're having to give up to be able to make entry successfully. I mean, if you're right up on top of somebody that's just asking for one or both of you to end up in the wall.
Yeah, let's ride along with Jeremy Gardner here. You can hear it. He's coming into this corner here. Lets off. Uses a little bit of engine brake. Help his car get around, rotate. Look how straight he's keeping that wheel tape, though. And then just cannot get on the throttle coming out. Yeah, it is loose out there, man. They are on ice today. Gets off the throttle. He's about half throttle, half throttle, half throttle.
Gonna see a pass
Now
in
he
the middle
gets
of
into
the
it.
field right there. Looks like both of the McCulloughs were able to get around Brandon Trush there. It's gonna move Kenneth McCullough Jr. into 6th position and Christopher McCullough into 7th, and gonna drop Brandon Trush back to the 8th position, at least for right now.
Yeah, Brandon Trush down 4 spots tonight. Maybe kind of saving something. He did really well in that first little stint there. He knows they're going to get stacked back up again after the stage break, so just keep it clean. Take some notes, learn a little bit of thing or two about how to get around, how your car is handling, and maybe make a push for it in the 3rd stage. But he's going to make a push for it now.
Something like he's going right back to try to get that position there.
Oh, Tyler Justice gets down to the wall. That 33 Rogue Energy car, he's able to keep it straight. Still green flag racing.
He's able to, again, really great job by the guys tonight, and Tyler right there for keeping it on the track even after getting loose and not making a bad situation worse and mess up the car more than potentially needed to. But it is going to drop him back a couple spots. He's going to go back to 10th right now. And it looks like actually going to go back to 11th because Jacob Hutnick was able to work his way around him there as well.
Yeah, jumping over here to Ryan Moyer real quick. He just made a run at Jeremy Gardner. What is our stage break for stage 2?
That is 70, sir.
I mean, he has got good straight speed here, which tells me he might have some tires in that thing.
It almost makes me wonder the difference that these guys might have in their strategy of how they're driving the car. Also, just so unique to see kind of how this stage. I mean, it's still been Jeremy Gardner wall to wall, but at the same time, at this point in the last stage, he had a 10-second lead on 2nd place. And now not only does he not have that 10-second lead, but he's got Ryan Moyer right there, less than a half a second back, and continuously making runs at him.
Yeah, I think Ryan Moyer's figuring out some things here. Looks like he's sticking about 1 lane up, kind of floats up a little bit more, I think, than he wants to, but on turn 3 and 4 especially, has a really good diamond out, very smooth, gets down to that low side. I drive it out as straight as possible, and he's been catching, but falls back a little bit there on that split.
Well, either way, it seems like everybody else has definitely started to figure some things out about their car and be able to keep it going a little bit faster. Like we said, at this point in the last green flag run, we had 2nd place that was over 10 seconds behind. And now you would have to go back to 8th, where you would find Brandon Trush 11 seconds back. Everybody in front of him is going to be less than 10 seconds behind at this venture. And of course, as I say that, 6th and 7th are now 10 seconds behind. Broadcasting timing.
Yeah, as soon as you say it.
Just trying to make a point over here.
You got the sectors pulled up for the splits around the track here, and yeah, Moyer's a lot faster coming through turn 3 and 4 than he is through 1 and 2, but still not as fast as Jeremy Gardner out there leading it. Jeremy's starting to pull away again.
It looks like Jeremy might hit the old hyperdrive Chewy because he went from about 0.3 to 0.8 in 2 turns.
And now building that up all the way to 1 second lead over Ryan Moyer. So we pull up the delta right here between Thomas Kirkman and Simon Grills. Grills is making up time on Thomas Kirkman.
Grills looks like he's going to be trying to work his way up and see if he can't make a pass on Thomas Kirkman to get that top 3 spot before the end of the stage. 7 laps to go.
And for anybody
in the final stage,
anybody that's watching at home here that has not been with us before, not seen this little delta bar on the bottom here for our graph, if your bars are moving more towards the right, that means the driver in front is gaining time. If it's moving towards the left, that means the driver is losing time. So you can see Kirkman was gaining over 3 laps, and the last 3 laps has been losing time to Simon Grills.
Yeah, and you can see that on the track. Grills has pretty much pulled it all the way back to the bumper of Thomas Kirkman here. With 6 laps to go here in this final stage of the race, currently for as much separation as we've had out here, you would think we would have a lot more lapped car trouble, but we really haven't. Only the car a lap down is going to be Jay Vaught, who is called himself out of this race. But Cody Bullock is going to be your first car or last car that is on the lead lap. He is 28 seconds off of the leader, Jeremy Gardner.
Yeah, I think he might get saved by the bell here.
I'm going to say Jeremy's still a full straightaway away from him.
Jake Euler trying his best to get around Brandon Trush here, looking high, looking low.
Like we mentioned earlier, they do award points for where you finish as long as you're in the top 10 at the stage breaks, so every position really does start to matter as we start closing in here on this stage. One of your last chances to get some bonus points here. One other thing to keep in mind, that especially with a track that is as difficult and loose as this one has proven to be, there is bonus points also awarded for 0 incident points. So if you can keep your car out on the track and not have any incident points at a race like this, which is very much easier said than done, there is some bonus points in it for you. And I don't see too many leagues doing that. That's something I really like.
Cut down a check on Rocky, see if he's still holding up down there.
Hadn't gotten walloped yet.
He's in a good spot tonight. I might have to put him in a different spot next race, get him a little bit more involved, if you will.
I don't think he would like that, but I think the viewers definitely would. But
Yeah, he's got to pay his time.
yeah.
Ever since Lightgate at Wilkesboro. But Coney trying to make a move here.
He's trying to get up there on the bumper of Simon Grills, but he's going to get really loose there. I believe he was up there fighting with Christopher McCullough for that 5th position. Now Kenneth McCullough's going to get around him as well. He's going to move Greg McConey back to 7th place.
Look at the run he's got here. Chris McCullough just pulling in on Simon Grills.
I think the McCullough boys decided to step on it here, try to get every position that they can. Lap 69. Again, no one there to touch Jeremy Gardner, who's going to go
Oh.
wall to wall again here in this stage. Again, we were talking about it earlier. Cody Bullock going to be saved by the bell here and not go a lap down.
Christopher McCullough is a lot faster than Simon Grills right now. Grills doing a good job just maintaining his own line. Don't drive out your rearview mirror. If he's going to pass you, he's got to pass you on a different line. Looks like they both got a little loose there coming out of turn 4. The caution flag's coming out.
Going to end our stage there on lap 70. Again, congratulations to Jeremy Gardner for his second stage win tonight. Not quite as convincing as that first one, but still 2.6 second lead on Ryan Moyer, who we know, obviously, his trophy case and previous times prove that he's a very, very capable driver. And Jeremy Gardner, almost 3 seconds of a lead on him. But your top 3 for this second stage is going to be Ryan Moyer is going to be the second place. Jeremy Gardner, as we mentioned a few minutes ago, is going to win this thing. And Thomas Kirkman bringing it home in third place there. Top 5 is rounded out by Simon Grills and Christopher McCullough. We do not have any more stage breaks in this race, so this will be on lap 70. We have 120 total to do here at Gateway tonight. So by the time we're restarting, we'll probably have about 40 to go.
And while we are here under break, I do want to take a second to pull up our current point standings that we have. Coming into the night, Ryan Moyer sitting in that first place spot with 374 points. Jacob Hutnick right behind him, his teammate. Jamie Horn, who is not here tonight, sitting in third. Chris McCullough, fourth. Tyler Justice in fifth. Greg McConey in sixth, moving up a few spots. Cody Bullock in seventh. Kenneth McCullough Jr. is in eighth. Frank Marchese, who is also not here tonight. Frank the Tank, we miss you, man. Ninth place, and 10th is Brandon Trush. Moving on back here to 11th place. Craig Bontrager and Aiden Wilson are going to be just inside that cut line, followed by James Fox the second. George Jewell, who is not going to be with us for the rest of the season. And Jake Euler in 15th. Simon Grills, Jay Vault, Dylan Canova, Garrett Fox, and James Muriel.
I know just out of that top 20, I know, as you mentioned, George Jewell not with us for the rest of the season, and hope everything is well with him. Was racing for the RER team, and his spot has been taken by Jeremy Gardner, who has been just absolutely putting on a show, not just here tonight, but ever since he joined the league 2 races ago. And he's just outside of the top 20 in points here. There's still plenty of runway in this thing, as he had to start from 0 on the points. Still absolutely plenty of runway for him to get himself into the playoffs here. Which, if that's not just an absolute Hail Mary of a run, I got nothing for you. Or maybe Hail Melon. Maybe that's more fitting for the context.
Although Hail Melon, saw a lot of those fans out there at Charlotte last week. Pretty good race. Good weekend for us. Very busy.
It was, I would not call it a relaxing weekend, but it was a very fun weekend. So, again, if you haven't had a chance, be sure you check us out on Instagram and TikTok. We were out on the track and in the, what's it called? The speed zone or something like that. That's right outside the track. And I had to put my general social anxiety to the side and hold up a tiny microphone and talk to people. And we're going to have a lot of interviews coming out there, and it was a lot of fun. So
You crushed
another
it.
thing that's a lot of fun is the green flag here on lap 74. Jeremy Gardner again with a huge jump. Ryan Moyer trying to hang with him. We're going to go 3 wide there in the middle of the track. Kenneth McCullough Jr. was trying to stick his nose there in between Simon Grills and Thomas Kirkman. Oh, and they're loose at the back of the track. Cody Bullock and Tyler Justice were getting together, and Tyler Justice is all the way around. Going to bring out our second official racing caution of the night. I believe I heard Cody Bullock come over the radio and say that he got in the gas a little bit early, he thinks, and apologizing.
See if we can go back and find that really quick here.
That's got to be a point for me there as well.
Yeah, I'm giving you the point. I get the point. Wait, 1 point, right?
Yeah, just one.
1 point.
I mean, to hand out 2 points on a transition would be ludicrous. It would have to be the best thing I've heard since, like, Michael Waltrip or Darrell Waltrip running around on the infield.
Yeah, it was like Cody gave him just a small little tap there, got him spun around. What a callback, though. Michael Waltrip running around the infield, spilling tacos on Denny Hamlin's car.
Yeah, it looks like Tyler was trying to check up there a little bit and figure out where he was going, and Cody was trying to stay in the gas there. Just some unfortunate racing incidents there. Hopefully not a ton of damage for Tyler there. Like Cody Bullock in a little bit of a surprise move here is going to bring it down pit road. Or if he's got a little strategy in his back pocket.
If you got one, now's the time to pull it out.
Whoa. Hey now.
Easy there.
Looks like when we get this thing restarted, it will pretty much be restarting exactly the way it was. Jeremy Gardner still going to have the lead here. Ryan Moyer going to be in second. Thomas Kirkman in third. Simon Grills fourth. Kenneth McCullough Jr. and Christopher McCullough making up fifth and sixth. Brandon Trush in that 23 machine in seventh. Greg McConey gonna have to try to dodge the raccoon and keep it in 8th place there. Jacob Hutnick in 9th. Craig Bontrager in 10th. Jake Euler in 11th. Tyler Justice in 12th. Cody Bullock catching up to the back of the pack right now after bringing it down pit road, the only car to do so on this last caution. And Jay Vaught is going to be in last place in 14th and has called himself out of the race. Again, appreciate everyone for joining us here tonight after a week off. We're excited to be back bringing you the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. We will be back again next week. We are back to Green Flag Racing as well. Jeremy Gardner again with a great jump. Ryan Moore trying to hang close. We're going to take it 3 wide there in the middle.
Oh, that's 54 up there in the wall. The 04, I'm sorry. 54.
Yeah, Christopher McCullough was kind of the top piece of bread in that sandwich and had to take it all the way up to the wall to avoid Thomas Kirkman and Simon Grills.
Greg McConey loose right there as well. Yeah, I was looking at the 5 beside his name for 5 spots moved up for the night for Chris McCullough. But Brandon Trush is sideways here. Still sideways. He's going to be in front of Tyler Justice.
They're going to get together.
Tyler looks like he's got a lot of damage to that front right side there.
It's like Greg McConey might have gotten a piece of that as well.
Ryan Moore trying to make a move on the leader here.
Looks like Greg was actually able to kind of squeak by it. It seems like Ryan Moyer is able to get all the way up to that bumper of Jeremy Gardner, but just has not been able to complete a pass so far. Jeremy doing such a great job of knowing his line up there at front.
I remember this part about this track now it's all coming back to me. You really have to time your passes here. Pulling up to the bumper of somebody's car, getting into the gas just before they do, coming out of a corner. So you can make that drive around them. Kind of see Ryan Moyer doing that there. I remember that because it was a big learning moment for me to learn how to get up behind somebody and stay behind somebody through a corner, because you have to be close to make a pass. Especially when you have a guy as fast as Jeremy Gardner, you have to be very close to these corners and just beating them on exit.
Tyler Justice going to be down on pit road. Not sure if he's already used his fast repair or not, but he is down on pit road and I believe he's going to go his second lap down here this time by. With all the shuffling going on, that is going to put Greg McConey as your last car on the lead lap in 12th. Brandon Trush right there in front of him in 11th. Like Greg McConey might have gotten a little bit loose there, was trying to run into the back of Brandon there. Cody Bullock just in front of them in 10th now. And Jacob Hutnick and Craig Bontre are able to move up a couple of spots, and they're going to be in 8th and 9th now.
Jake Euler's kind of making his way back up there to the front. Had a little bit of trouble earlier on tonight. Simon Gorill still holding on to that third place spot. He's up 2 spots. Ryan Moyer up 10 spots tonight in that P2 position. Only about 3/10 off of the leader. I mean, at this point, too, you got to think, I might not pit again. I'm going to have to save as much as I possibly can until whatever your marker is inside your mind. At 20 laps we go. But I even think 20 laps here, as hot as this track is and as tight as it is, you're still going to burn them within that 20 laps.
Yeah, and especially because we've been pretty much directly on schedule with these stage breaks, been 35 each and every time. So after pitting on lap 70, that would get you to 105, so there's still 15 to go. After that, it's going to be kind of taking you into some uncharted territory. The only person to come back down pit road on that last caution was Cody Bullock. I believe that would have been on about lap 78, 79, somewhere right in there.
Yeah, and I don't know how much fuel they have in these tanks. Will it go past 35? Can we get 55 out of it?
I know the percentage. I don't know the lap.
Ryan Moyer almost made a pass for the lead there. Got on the inside there of Jeremy Gardner. Moyer's just got to face this. This is a challenge here for him now, is you've got to stick close to Gardner while also trying to save. You cannot let him get too far out. And it might be what he's trying to do here is get in front. And maybe he can slow him down just a little bit. Throw his line off, anything to make him kind of move his tires a little bit more underneath him so he can try to have some fresher tires here at the end.
Yeah, normally I'm one that's all for, save and let's make our move at the end. I know that's something we talk about a lot when I'm spotting for you, but I think you bring up a really good point right there. At this point, 87 laps in, you have to you have to think that Jeremy Gardner's got some things figured out. He knows exactly what he wants to do. His car's running great in that clean air, and if you're not able to disrupt that in some way, I think it's just Jeremy Gardner's race to lose. We saw Ryan hang with him so well through that past green flag run from 35 to 70. But even at the end there, Jeremy was able to pull almost a 3-second lead in the last 5 or 6 laps.
And from our short conversations with Ryan Moyer, it seems like he's a very neural driver, thinks about what he needs to do. And if I had to take a guess, I feel like he's sizing him up right now and trying to figure out when his braking points are, when his downshift points are, so he can kind of make a move here later on. But Yeah, you got to try something to slow him down a little bit. Get in front of him, get on his side, throw his line off, do whatever you can. Because Jeremy
While
Gardner's
also
just
not
running
putting
his
yourself
line.
on the wall.
Yeah, Jeremy's just running his line tonight and having a good time with it.
Yeah, it's been a Sunday cruise for Jeremy here tonight. He's done. There's really no other word for it other than pretty flawless. I mean, when you're two-time stage winner in a race, haven't given up the lead a single time, and you're putting anywhere between, I believe on that last green flag run, it was somewhere between, like, other than with Ryan, it was somewhere between 6 and 30 seconds on the rest of the field. And even in this run now on lap 90, Ryan Moyer, the only person that's on the bumper is Jeremy Gardner. Simon Grills, Thomas Kirkman, and Kenneth and Christopher McCullough are all back there in 3rd to 6th. And they are somewhere between 3 and 4 seconds behind the leader.
Kirkman's going to try to make a pass right now. Simon Grills gets down to the inside, but he's going to have to hold it out. I think Grills is going to have the run on the high side here. Oh, Kirkman gets around.
Kirkman goes all the way around. He wasn't able to hold it on that low side. He was trying to stay underneath Simon.
Yeah, Kenneth McCullough Jr. just gave him a little tap. Probably couldn't check up in time fast enough and finished him off there.
Very curious to see what the pit road strategies are going to look like right here.
I think you got to pit.
I think you do too, but for these guys that are a little bit further back in the back, there's a time to kind of put it on the table and go for broke. I mean, now's kind of the time. Because like you said, like, do I really think that you're going to be able to hold off Jeremy Gardner as fast as he's been? I think that's a pretty tall order. But can you maybe throw him off a little bit? Can you, like you say, can you maybe get in his line? Can you make him uncomfortable? And at least give him something to have that he hasn't had tonight at this point, as dominating as that performance has been.
They are bringing it down pit road now. Moyer right on his bumper, trying to get as much time in as possible here. See if he can possibly beat him off pit road.
It's a veteran maneuver right there.
Good stop by Moyer.
Pretty big gap there on pit road.
Looks like Moyer's going to take 4 tires. I think Cody Bullock may have taken 4 too there, but that was quick. Grills taking 2 rights.
And we are going to shuffle this thing up just a little bit. Looking like we're going to have Christopher McCullough, Greg McConey, and Thomas Kirkman all still down on pit road. They're going to be dealing with some damage repairs. It's like Chris McCullough is going to be the first one to get it off of pit road there.
Yeah, as we're looking at Simon Grills right here down pit road, only taking those right side tires.
I think that's what we were kind of just talking about. I think that's his go for broke right there.
I love it. I mean, you got to do something.
Yeah, like you said, it's, I mean, at this point, I mean, Jeremy's already proven himself to be so fast. Shuffle it up, try something different. Like I said, maybe Simon can get up there. Maybe even if he can't hold off Jeremy Gardner, he can slow down his run a little bit so you have a chance at the end. But that is going to shuffle up our front runners a little bit. With that pit road strategy that we just saw, Simon Grills taking only 2 right side tires, rest of the field taking 4. So Simon Grills is going to be your new race leader. Jeremy Gardner going to be starting on the outside in 2nd place. Cody Bullock going to be in 3rd, and Ryan Moyer in 4th. Kenneth McCullough Jr. is going to be 5th. Jacob Hutnick is 6th. Craig Bontrager 7th. Jake Euler 9th. Brandon Trush 9th. Christopher McCullough, Thomas Kirkman, and Greg McConey all going to be toward the back of the pack, 10th, 11th, and 12th after dealing with some damage. The pace car will be going off. We will have 25 to go this time by. Does anyone have anything for Jeremy Gardner? We will see right
no.
here.
Bullock's
Cody
around.
Bullock around immediately.
Are we sure Bullock took 4? No, I believe he only took 2. That was my mistake. I misspoke on that. He only took 2 tires and got out of there pretty quickly ahead of everybody else.
Did also just come over the radio and money shift.
I was just looking on the gearbox of from Simon Grills. You can see some damage on the front of Cody Bullock's car still. So we'll try to get to that gearbox of Oconee.
Did just hear Cody come over the radio, said that he missed a gear. Apologized to the rest of the field there. One other thing I'm kind of taking notice of here, though, Simon Grills got a good restart.
Yeah. Simon Grills is another guy that only took 2 tires on that pit road there. That pit stop.
I mean, the way you
I don't know. Like,
got to figure it here is that this caution happening almost immediately, giving those left sides even more chance to cool back down. You got to think this helps Simon Grills.
Oh, yeah. He's just going to have his hands full up there at the front, though. But, I mean, Simon Grills been running up at the top all night long. Been doing very well tonight. But with
absolutely. I
only
would say
2
nothing
rights,
against Simon Grills at all.
Yeah, just with 2 rights, and you have 2 guys that have been very fast and 6 seconds ahead of the pack all night with 4 fresh tires. It's going to be a tall order.
Like you said, I think this is, again, this is nothing against Simon Grills. He's run a great race tonight. He's been top 3 all night long, but this is a little bit of a situation at this point where you're going to have 20 to go. You're kind of raising the blind when you don't have the cards. Like, this is we were talking about it a few laps ago. This is a situation where you're trying to do something to shake things up. And because whatever's been going, you had a great race car all night, no issues, top 3. You want to get out there and try to win, and seemingly nobody's had anything for Jeremy Gardner or Ryan Moyer. And if you can get up there, like you said, maybe disrupt the sequence a little bit. Do I think you can disrupt it for 20 laps? I don't know, but at least make things a little bit interesting. Got Logan Bontrager in the comments saying, come on 35, go faster. Cheering for Craig Bontrager there in the 35 machine. Going to be restarting in 8th here. Cody Bullock, after that last caution, going to be restarting at the back of the pack. He's going to have Greg McConey right beside him back there. It's like Tyler Justice and Jay Vaught have now both called it a night. That is going to leave us 12 cars on the racetrack with 22 laps to go.
Simon Grills
21.
A little bump to the pace car there. Just helping him out.
Yeah, helping him get back down pit road, but we are going to have 21 to go this time by. Green flag is out. That's another really good restart by Simon Grills. Really, really well done.
22 to go.
But as you just said,
goodness.
he's gonna have his hands full almost immediately. Jeremy Gardner going to the high side. Looks like he almost kind of moved Ryan Moyer out of the way there. Oh, that's going to be a big checkup in the middle of the pack. They're 3 wide in the back. It's like Craig Bontrager is caught in a Thomas Kirkman, Christopher McCullough sandwich. They're able to get his way out of it.
Yeah, meanwhile, Jeremy Garner taking that low side. I think Simon Grills overran 3 and 4 just a little bit, floated a little too high. It's going to give the inside up to Jeremy Gardner.
Jeremy Gardner going to go right back to where he was in the lead. Now Ryan Moyer going to look to do the same strategy there.
Got McConey getting a little loose there.
It's like Ryan Moyer absolutely sent it into that entry right there and able to actually make a stick at the bottom.
It's Jacob Hutnick down in the wall in the front stretch. That's going to bring out a caution. Simon Grill's going to fall back to third place. Ryan Moyer in second. Now, I don't know. This is where I start thinking, like, if I didn't take lefts before, and I'm noticing, like, wow, this is really affecting me. If I'm Simon Grills, do I pit? 20 to go. You've been fast all night. You might be able to make it up. There's only 12 cars in the lead lap.
I don't know. It's an interesting thought. It gives you a lot more trouble to work through, especially on the last 20, where everyone's really going to be beating and banging trying to get their positions. But like you said, you have the two sides where it's like, yeah, you got ran over within a couple laps there, but it's also by the two guys that have been just dominatingly fast all night. So part of you in the back of your head has to think that was going to happen anyway, but now it's, can I still maintain my top three? I mean, Kenneth McCullough Jr. been very, very fast tonight, able to show that he's able to work his way up through the pack. Same with Jake Euler, Christopher McCullough. Christopher McCullough was closer toward the back of the pack and has already worked his way back up to sixth.
Yeah, they're both going to pit right here too, so they're going to take up that opposite strategy. Yeah, it's just two schools of thought, because like one is like, I've been fast, I can get through back to the front, but I have to work through some traffic. The other one is, am I able to hold off the traffic with just these two tires?
Yep. So it looks like the pit road attendees here are going to be the McCulloughs. Looks like Jacob Hutnick bringing it down. Probably has a little bit of damage to deal with as well. And it looks like Greg McConey is also going to bring it down. I got to think for the McCulloughs, the one thing that can be encouraging here, both of them have had some up and down luck tonight. Looks like Kenneth has done especially pretty well in terms of gaining positions, but we've seen time and time again in this league how well they work together. I know they race together all the time, and so they know the ins and outs of how each other race perfectly. So that's definitely something I'm going to be kind of keeping my eye out for in this restart and see if the McCulloughs are able to pretty quickly get back up there and give themselves top 5, top 3 contention.
In the meantime here, Craig Bontrager's moved all the way up to 5th place now. He was in the back just a little earlier. Now he's up here in 5th place, going to be starting on the inside of Brandon Trush and that 23 Clem Speed Shop machine.
And if you or someone you know want a car that looks like that Clem Speed Shop machine, KnappDaddyRacing.com.
Definitely one of my favorites I've done, I think.
I really like that one.
And Jake Euler, new one for the night as well, debuting this one. He also has a second one that's the opposite in a black and red theme, but I can't wait till he brings that one out. I don't want to reveal it for him, but it is definitely, those two cars are my top 2. The black and red one I did for Jake Euler, and that one by Brandon Trush there.
We believe we're going to have 16 to go when the green flag comes back out. Jeremy Gardner is going to be in the lead. Ryan Moyer, Simon Grills, Jake Euler, and Craig Bontrager make up your top 5. They are stacked right back up. Who's going to be able to bring this thing home? Big jump out of Jeremy Gardner. Ryan Moyer trying to get it back in the throttle there on that high side and get things back going. Got a great entry there, but is he going to be able to make it stick?
That's Ryan Moyer up there in the wall at the front. They're trying to get 3 wide back there. Simon Grill's making the pass.
Yeah, it looks like he tagged the wall when he was trying to get it to stick up high. Jake Euler all the way to the bottom of the track. He's now side by side with Ryan Moyer. Jake Euler racing with Simon Grills. That's going to be for 4th.
No half sins. Look at this. Oh my goodness, Jake Euler trying to push it here. Ryan Moyer is loose.
That was a send down there on that low side. We've seen people have a really tough time getting it to stick down there on the low side.
Oh, I think he overshot just there.
Especially when you have to make that accelerated entry to try to make a pass.
We got some racing going on.
Yeah, he definitely overshot that a little bit. Cody Bullock around in the back of the pack, and he's going to be in the inside wall. To be our 5th caution of the night.
I don't know, man. I'm just thinking if I'm Simon Grills, I don't know. It's a tough call because you don't have many to go now. It's going to be hard to make it up, but
at a track where it's this hard to pass, I think you're bought in at this point. I think if you were going to try that strategy where you're like, okay, I'm just going to take 2. Okay, I'm going to go back. Like, that didn't work. I think last caution would have been the time to do it. So we're probably only going to have 6 or 7 to go.
Yep, and that's plenty of time to move through about 11, 12 people, especially with fresh tires, being that fast, knowing that you probably will have another caution. It might go to a green-white checker the way it's going right now. It's going to move you up probably a little bit more. It's like a gamble.
At a track where it's this hard to pass as well, going back to 12th, trying to get back up to 3rd.
He's going to do it. Let's go, Simon. I'm just cheering for the strategy right now, man. I want to see this pay out. This is a gamble. I love it. This is him throwing it down the table and saying, I've been fast all night.
First try at some strategy didn't work so good. Deal me back in. Let's try again. He is going to be joined on pit road by, I believe that's going to be Kenneth McCullough Jr., Thomas Kirkman, and Cody Bullock. Cody Bullock going to be dealing with some damage repair as well, I believe.
Oh, Grills overshot the pit stall just a little bit. McCullough's already going to be in and out. He pitted last lap, maybe just coming in to fix some kind of damage if he has any. Simon Grills going to be restarting in the 10th place position right beside Kenneth McCullough Jr. He's going to be behind Greg McConey, who's been pretty fast all night. Usually has a pretty good restart. Aggressive driver. So you know that guy's going to push you up to the front. It's tight. It's a tight window. It's 6 to 7 seconds, but there's just a huge difference on those fresh tires.
It's going to be tough racing for sure. And as we've seen, it seems like when you really want to get kind of a run where you haven't had one before, you've either got to take it all the way up to the wall and not hit it, or you got to stick down on that low side and make it stick. And especially as the track has continued to get hotter, and I've seen a couple guys that have taken it all the way down there and they make it stick for one lap. And then I think we actually kind of saw that with Jake Euler the last time. He took the low side, made it stick, was able to get his way around Ryan Moyer and get second place, but wasn't able to do it 2 laps in a row.
Yeah, I don't think the low side is going to be the goal for guys like, especially Ryan Moyer here. If you're not in first place, the low side might not be the goal for Gardner. They might have to be looking to go in about 2 lanes up, maybe even just 1 lane up. I would probably go try to stick with 2 lanes up and then exit as low as possible. Start it kind of high, 2 lanes in, get to the middle and start really diming it out, getting that car as straight as possible because you want good straight speed here. Slow in is okay. You want to be fast out.
Especially because correct me if I'm wrong, that's probably been the one place tonight where we've seen there might be a Jeremy Gardner weakness.
Yeah, Moyer has kind of exposed that and gotten really good on the exits. You can hear it in the throttle between those two, just little differences that they're pulling off, but Moyer's been pretty fast on exit. We're getting back green here. Great jump by Jeremy Gardner getting up there on the inside. Moyer sticking right with him, though. Jake Euler as well. Brandon Trush behind him. Craig Bontrager making a run to the inside of Brandon Trush.
10 to go this time by. Ryan Moyer trying to look to that low side of Jeremy Gardner, not able to get it that time.
Brandon Trush moving his way up to the third place spot, followed by Jake Euler behind him. He's going to be looking up here at Ryan Moyer. Gets close to the bumper.
It's like Brandon Trush wasn't quite able to make it stick. We've got a car down on the inside wall.
That's Kenneth
No
McCullough
caution.
Jr.
Disappointing for him. Had a really, really strong run tonight. Able to fight his way
Brandon
through a
Trush
tough
sideways. He's going to fall back.
Just heard him come over the radio, and it was just a yell of frustration.
Cody Bullock
Cody
riding the high
Bullock's
side.
going to tag the wall there as well.
Greg McConey down in the bottom. Simon Grills has moved up 3 spots just off of this.
Again, just radio translations here as they come through. That was Greg McConey just going over the
Chris-
radio saying, "I hate my life."
Chris McCullough gets loose there. Jacob Hutnick tags the wall.
These guys are giving it everything they have. 6 to go this next time by. Ryan Moyer right on the bumper of Jeremy Gardner. Jake Euler trying to run him down.
Ryan Moyer is getting very loose here off exit. Especially in that turn 2.
Brandon Trush slow on the track. It looks like he might be blowing up. He's either blowing up or has a tire down.
I think thing's blown. Jake
She
Euler.
gone.
Yeah, Jake Euler looks like he's trying to make a move here. Keeping about 1 lane there, trying to use that little grip that it has there on the side of the track. Gets a little loose coming out. As you can see, Brandon Trush entering pit road right now.
Craig Bontrager back in 4th is now fighting with Jacob Hutnick for that spot. It's like Christopher McCullough was already able to work his way around. Now Jacob Hutnick going to get that spot.
Simon Grills tags the wall hard. That's disappointing. Had such a good night. Took a gamble on that last pit stop there. I was loving it. It's like Bontrager and Kirkman right here. Trying to fight for this P5 spot. Kirkman getting to the inside. Bontrager's got to get a good push out of here. Good run.
Saw Cody Bullock was trying to make a run on Greg McConey. That's to get into the 9th spot. McConey able to head that off completely. Now Kenneth McCullough Jr. is going to be looking to the inside of Cody Bullock. Trying to fight his way inside the top 10. Kathy Trush in the comments saying no. Unfortunately, heard Brandon come over the radio and say she gone. You can see him living his way up the backstretch. Looks like the motor went.
Coming right down here to the end, we have a caution out. It's going to be Kenneth McCullough Jr. down there on the front stretch. She done.
Yeah, and that's Brandon in the comments saying She done. Brandon, did she blow it up? That is going to take us to a green-white checkered. We will have up to 3 attempts at this. There's going to be 11 cars on the track for this. Jay Vaught and Tyler Justice already out of the race. They're in 14th and 13th. And Brandon Trush now down on pit road with a car that we believe might have gone kablooey. Cody Bullock also bringing it down pit road. Your top 5 into this restart is going to be Jeremy Gardner, Ryan Moyer, Jake Euler, and Christopher McCullough.
While we're sitting here under caution here, I do have Brandon Trush coming up to join us in the broadcast booth. Brandon, you got a copy with us?
Yeah, I hear you guys.
Hey, man, you had a great run there at the end, making some good passes off that restart. Tell us what happened there.
And those corners, there's that bump coming off of 4, man. And if you get in the gas at the wrong time, at the right spot on the track, it just spins you. As you know, I could see in front of me, guys were coming down to the wall and saving it. And unfortunately, I just had a little bit too much in it that time.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, the track temp you guys started tonight was, I believe, 116 or 119. It's been pretty hot. Looks pretty slick. After that restart, every lap somebody was tagging the wall or getting sideways. How tough was it to keep it straight out there tonight?
It was hard. It's probably one of the harder ones we've done so far this year. As you said, the track temp just kept getting hotter. The tires were getting no better. The car from run to run was just progressively getting worse, and then it would get good and then bad again. And everybody out there is having the same struggles right now.
Yeah, well,
except for Ryan Moyer.
Yeah, Ryan Moyer and Jeremy Gardner have been just putting on a show tonight. Not really sure what they did to their tires or to their car, but they have somehow figured it out and everything. But unfortunate run for you tonight, man. I'm hoping to see you back here next week and get you back up in the booth. Maybe you can give us a track walkthrough for our next race.
Yeah, definitely. You guys just let me know. Always happy to come up here, and hopefully the rest of this race is good.
Yes, sir. We appreciate it.
The descriptor from Dylan Canova in the comments is fantastic. Like racing dump trucks on the surface of the sun. Front tires just sliding across the track and the car snapping loose once it straightens out.
Yeah, I imagine that snap loose effect there is kind of nightmarish, like you said, but it looks like we had some connection issues at the very end of that call there with Brandon Trush. Thank you to him for jumping up here and giving us an inside look at what these cars are running like. Very unfortunate for him. Very fast tonight. He was my pick to win it at the start of this race, but looked like he had the machine to get up there to the front. But coming to the green flag here, Jeremy Gardner, Ryan Moyer on your front row, trying to do a little showdown for 3 more laps. Does Ryan Moyer have anything left for Jeremy Gardner? Can Jeremy Gardner hold off Ryan Moyer for 3 laps?
And don't discount Jake Euler and Chris McCullough. They're back there as well, and they've been fast all night as well. Not with a jump like that, though. Jeremy Gardner immediately gets out to a run. Ryan Moyer trying to push there into that top line. Tries to drive down back low. Gets really good straightaway speed. Gonna have to make it stick here. What a save by Craig Bontrager. Almost got it. Good God.
We're about to revisit that one at the end of the race. Ryan Moyer gets a little loose. Jake Euler falling back now. Thomas Kirkman making the pass. Thomas Kirkman
in the wall.
Yeah.
Ryan Moyer trying to get back up there to the bumper of Jeremy Gardner, see if he has anything left for him. Christopher McCullough able to work his way into 3rd place. Jake Euler on the low side of Thomas Kirkman trying to fight his way in.
don't think he's going to be able to do it. Jeremy Gardner's going to bring it home 2 weeks in a row, followed by Ryan Moyer.
Christopher McCullough brings it home in third. Thomas Kirkman in fourth, and Jake Euler in fifth. What a race. Great job by not only Ryan Moyer, but Christopher McCullough and Thomas Kirkman and Jake Euler to fight through a lot of adversity tonight to get that top 5 finish. But all in all, dominating performance by Jeremy Gardner as he goes back to back and is burning it down in front of the checkered flag.
What a burnout. I think he's practiced that a few times.
Definitely seems like it.
Looks a lot better than mine. Very few times it happens.
Yeah, that was pretty good one the other night, but I mean, just an insane run by Jeremy Gardner. I mean, a couple guys were able to give him a run at it. Ryan Bourne was able to kind of get things mixed up a little bit there. Simon Grills with some strategy was able to mix it up for a little bit, but all in all, it was the Jeremy Gardner show here tonight.
Jeez, man, it's like Jeremy Gardner knew exactly where that camera was, because that was some great work by our drone out there. We haven't given Rocky the complete controls to that, but we do want to give a special shout out to Rocky for being out here, giving us a little bit of a look from the track side and letting us see what he can see out there. We're going to move him in a more action-packed location next week and kind of put him right up on top of it.
Looking forward to it again. Thank you to everyone who was here joining us tonight here for the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series here on Knapp Daddy Racing. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and being in the comments, supporting the drivers. I know they definitely really appreciate it. We're going to be getting the drivers up here for some interviews here in just a second, but just shout out to everyone who joined us. I think we had 25 people at the highest night, so thank you very much. And again, just huge shout out to Sunbelt Rentals for making this whole thing possible. We really appreciate them keeping us up here in the booth and keeping the drivers out on the track. If you have any sort of construction projects coming up, whether that be a little residential job or a big commercial or industrial project, be sure to check out your local Sunbelt Rentals, and they will make sure that you stay taken care of, not just on the track, but off it as well. So again, huge thank you to Sunbelt Rentals, and thank you to everyone that's been joining us tonight. We really appreciate it and hope you stick around for more.
Absolutely, and we're trying to get these drivers pulled up here tonight as they all get up here and join the booth. But coming up first, we do have our third place finisher in Christopher McCullough trying to join us up here in the booth now, if it will actually work. There we go. Chris, you got a copy of us in the booth?
I gotcha.
Yeah, sorry, man. I'm having some trouble with the Discord here tonight, but great run by you tonight. Kind of in the back during the beginning. Was that a tire saving strategy, or were you trying to figure out the track?
I botched my qualifying run, to be honest. And then starting back there, I just wanted to kind of bide my time, and really I needed to learn some more. I really wasn't too comfortable after practice. I felt like I could hustle the car, and then sometimes it'd snap loose on me. So I was just wanting to make sure I made it to the end.
Yeah, we were watching from the beginning, and I think you had just a few little slip-ups there at the beginning coming out of turn 4, turn 2. Near the end, though, very consistent. It looked like you found it out pretty well. We're just giving a run towards the front. Did you think you had anything for Jeremy Gardner, Ryan Moore up there in first and second tonight?
Not really. I needed more track position early. I needed to be racing with them a little early. I kind of got tight out of 2 on the green white checkered, so it kind of killed my chance of racing with them. My only hope was that they'd get into each other a little bit and slow up. But I felt like if I could have got some track position early in the race and, to be honest with you, just run their line, follow behind them a little more, I think I could have found a little bit because I was continually getting faster through the night. It just took me a little too long to get track position.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at too. I was looking at your times here, and you were making some pretty good times, especially on your splits coming across those last 5 laps or so. I think if you had a few more laps, you would definitely be up there at the front, right beside them, making a pass. Probably about, my math is correct, maybe 10 more laps at that pace you were running. But overall, man, just a really good run. Is there any sponsors or anybody you want to shout out tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank my team, McCullough Motorsports. Need to thank these drivers in here. We got some good drivers. We have a lot of good racing. I haven't, been perfect myself. I make a lot of mistakes. So hopefully I can clean that up. But thank you for broadcasting and thanks Cody and all the admins that run the league. I know we didn't have the car count we wanted tonight, but you know, at the end of the day, I'd rather have quality over quantity.
Absolutely. I cannot agree with you more on that. But congrats tonight on third place. We appreciate you coming up here and talking to us a little bit. And man, I hope to see you next week at the next track we go to, which I don't have my schedule up, but I'm hoping to see you up here on the podium next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a run for the money. I feel like I'm getting better, so we'll see where the rest of the season brings.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thank you.
It's going to be Christopher McCullough, your third place finisher here tonight. Man, like I was
Arlington's going to be next week, by the way.
Darlington, thank you. I couldn't pull it up fast enough. I'm having Discord issues right now. It's making the beeps when people come in the waiting room and stuff. But yeah, I was looking at his splits and times right there at the very end on my side, and he was fast. I think if he had just a few more laps, he could have made some track position up and definitely been up there at the front. I think it was just kind of a timing issue, kind of like he said for him tonight. But definitely a fast car. Got very strong throughout the night. Was putting on a show there at the end. But coming up next, we do have Ryan Moyer, going to be your second place finisher. Ryan, you got a copy of this in the booth?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's going on, man? Welcome back to the booth again. I feel like this is every single week. We got you up here talking. Tell us about this run tonight. The track looks super slick. How was it out there, especially coming around 1 and 2 and coming out of 2, really?
Oh, it was just so difficult to pass, and I was better than him in 3 and 4, so I'd get a nice run. But he had those grip strips down in 1 and 2, and I could just every time I got to the bottom, I would just loop it or light him up and lose another 5/10. But I don't know. He was just perfect in 1 and 2. I couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you have your sectors pulled up or not, but you were about 2/10 faster for a lot of that run throughout 3 and 4 than he was in 1 and 2. But he's able, and you had better street speed as well, but he's able to get in those corners and just really be consistent there tonight, have that clean air with him. Talk to me a little bit about pit strategy there at the end. Were you thinking about taking another set when the caution came out with 20 to go?
I can't remember when I last. Whatever. I don't remember how many laps left were there, but I took 4, and then a couple guys took 2. But that was gonna be my last time pitting. I wasn't gonna pit after that because track position you couldn't pass at all unless someone made a mistake in front of you. So I wasn't trying to go back to the back.
Yes, sir. Well, as you'd see some people take some gambles on the 2 tire strategy. Didn't really work out for many people tonight. Was the left side not wearing as much as the right side? I know that happens most of the time, but was it a lot different tonight?
Both times I pit, all 4 of my tires were exactly the same. So
Wow.
that just might be my driving style too. I'm not sure. But like the car felt fine, but in 1 and 2, if you tried to pass, you just couldn't do it. So and he hit that perfectly every lap, and ended up winning the race.
Absolutely. Well, heading off to Darlington next week. Hope to see you back up here in the booth. Before I let you go, is there any sponsors or shout outs you want to give?
Just my team, Midpack Motorsports. Aiden wasn't here tonight, but Jake did pretty good, so he looped it at the end. But other than that, all in all, it was pretty good.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate you coming up here and talking to us, and congratulations on P2 tonight.
All right, thank you.
That's going to be Ryan Moyer, your second place finisher, who I had not flipped it over on for that whole interview, but Yeah, Ryan Moyer coming out here, finishing second place. Had some decent runs at times. I was actually making up some ground, but overall, Jeremy Gardner, the man we have coming up next, able to run away with it and go wall to wall here tonight. Let's see if we can get him up here now. Jeremy, you got a copy list in the booth?
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, man. 3 weeks in a row. I think you've raced 3 races here and got 3 podiums. Second at Dover, first place last week in our All-Star race, and then again tonight here at the Gateway Raceway. But tell us about that run. You were dominant from start to finish.
Yeah, just this track's it's all about consistency. You start missing lines, you go really pay for it, and especially with the track tempo we had tonight. I think it was up to like 119. It was super slick at first. So I was just trying to hold a rhythm, just try not to gas up too soon, just try to be consistent with it. But man, that was a blast. I ain't gonna lie to you. In practice, I was kind of dreading it. I was like, dude, there's gonna be so many people just sliding. I was just like, it honestly went a little bit better than I expected. So that was a fun race.
Yeah, we were just talking to Ryan Moyer about that aspect too, how you were just so consistent all night. I mean, I think that's really what got you to pull out to that 11-second, 12-second lead in that first stint. You didn't miss a single mark. Other guys are kind of shooting it high and over driving the corners. Was the tire wear too bad here after that 35-lap run for that first stage?
No, it wasn't bad at all. I was still like 92 or whatever, so it wasn't drastic. I mean, unless I started over driving it, which I honestly started to in stage 3, but no, it wasn't that bad. As long as you took care of the tires, you didn't overdrive the corner, locked the tires up and all that stuff. But no, it wasn't bad. It was just super slick. I know in 1 and 2, I know Ryan tried it a couple of times. You cannot run the bottom here. It's just like skating on ice, but you had to hit the grip strips is what I call them. And 1 and 2, and you hit them every lap, you're golden.
Yeah, was there ever any idea or thought to try to diamond out those corners a little bit more and start maybe in a lane higher than jump down? We saw some drivers trying that tonight behind you.
Yeah, no, there wasn't really any thought to it. I mean, I try to hit the same line every single lap. I mean, and it worked out stage 1. I mean, I got out that 11 seconds. I was literally hitting every single lap perfect, and I was actually surprised. I mean, like I said, this track's all about consistency, and if you've got consistency, you'll exceed at it.
Absolutely. Well, going to Darlington next week. How do you like your chances at Darlington?
It's my best track on the sim, so
Wow.
pretty excited for that one. I love that track.
Well, Hunter put it down in the books that you were going to win it this week, so I think this is his first win for picking the right driver. So I'm going to pick you next week for Darlington. If that's your best track next week, then I've definitely got you next week. So
Hey, I'll take it. Yeah, that's one of my best tracks. A lot of guys on here hate that track. They can't figure it out. It took me a long time to figure it out, but dude, Darlington's a hell of a race. I mean, once you figure it out, the racing it's great. So definitely ready.
yes, sir. Before I let you go, any shout outs or sponsors you want to give here?
Yeah, man. My guys over at GLR, this league putting on this race tonight. Appreciate them guys. Rogue Energy, appreciate them guys as well. Use promo code RER at checkout for a 10% off. It's a great energy drink. Of course, y'all put on a hell of a broadcast tonight. And my teammates over at Rogue. So we'll see y'all at Darlington next week.
Yes, sir. We appreciate it. Congrats again on tonight.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
And that's going to be your first place finisher in Jeremy Gardner. 2 weeks in a row. Finishing first place. Definitely going to help him out in the points. He's starting a little bit behind everybody else. Joining the season a little later. Taking that spot for George Jewell in that 36 Rogue Energy car. But still helping out the team points. And I think he's going to be moving up himself in the points here pretty soon. I don't think he's cracked our top 20 as of this week. So I can try to pull that up here.
If he was 22nd.
22nd coming into this week. You see the point standing here. Ryan Moyer still got a hold on first place. And then moving back to our 11 through 20, so you can see the cut line. Aiden Wilson, who is also not here tonight, just above that cut line. George Jewell should continue to fall. Jake Euler probably going to jump up a little bit more tonight, maybe even above that cut line. But, yeah, good run by Jake as well. But a lot of good runs by people tonight that I think really needed a good run. One of the people I was really impressed with was Simon Grills. I know he took that 2-tire strategy there at the end and didn't really pay off like he was hoping. It didn't pay off like I was hoping. I wanted to see something really cool happen. But, yeah, it was a strategy. You got to do something. I applaud that for actually doing something and not just sitting back and waiting for it.
I know we were talking about it during the race. It's just like you said, it's kind of one of those situations where you're kind of raising the blind when you don't have the cards, but you're just, one of those kind of let go and let God situations and just be like, I'm talented. I'm going to go try to make something happen, make my own luck. So I definitely respect that. But again, just really fun race all around, really tough track out there tonight. I know a lot of the guys were talking about how tough it was tonight. And then you have just an insane run by Jeremy there. And like you said, consistency is key. And he was pretty much perfect tonight. I mean, you have guys behind him like Jake Euler, and a lot of those other drivers who are very, very talented and they've done so well this year. And then to have them basically being like, he pretty much ran a perfect race. It's very impressive.
Absolutely. Man, it was a good race. Very unexpected to be that good at the very end there. I thought it was going to get spaced out a little bit more, and we were just kind of hanging along for the ride. But no, it turned out to be a really good race tonight. Good points race for a lot of guys moving up in the points. A lot of drivers out who are higher up in the points, so these guys are able to jump up. But before we go, I want to give a special shout out to Sunbelt Rentals one last time. Thank you for all they do for sponsoring the series and the league and keeping this thing going for us. Also want to give a shout out to our favorite Rocky from the Trash Panda Motorsports. This is kind of something this is their idea, so I'm going to say that. It was not my idea to give Rocky a job, but that was their idea. I love it. Rocky's going to be back next week. Again, he's going to be in a more dangerous position, but we'll see what we can do with that. But yeah, Darlington next week. What do you think?
I think Darlington's going to be fun because I think you're probably going to hopefully we have a little bit of a higher car turnout next week and have a little more packed out field. But I think you're going to have about half of the field that's like, I love Darlington, and the other half are going to be like, oh, good God, Darlington, why? So definitely expect that to be a fun race. I like watching Darlington anyway, so I think it's going to be super, super fun. So make sure if you haven't, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any of the action, all of the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series races broadcast live here on Knapp Daddy Racing here on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure that you hit the little button and make sure you don't miss any of the upcoming action. We really appreciate it. I know these drivers really appreciate it. We've talked about it before, but to be as new of a league as the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series is, I think there's a lot of really, really talented drivers in there. I love the way that it's run. It's really fun to watch. I think this could be a league that you're seeing for a long time in the iRacing scene.
Yeah, my only complaint about this whole league is that I have to broadcast it and I don't get a chance to drive it because it looks like a lot of fun.
Which I think is probably the highest compliment. You're someone who's been in the iRacing community for a pretty long while, been in lots of different leagues, and as much fun as we have up here broadcasting, and I know for me, I'm pretty much just on the back end. I'm a broadcast and spot kind of guy. You don't want me out there on the track, but
no, we don't.
Someone like you that's seen a lot of different leagues and a lot of different races, and be like, man, I want to be out there. I think it's about as high as compliment as you can pay.
Oh yeah, man, it looks like some good tight driving, fun driving. But yeah, looking forward to next week. Darlington's gonna be super tough. Gonna be, if this track was slick, that track's gonna be just as slick. Maybe not as slick, but it's definitely gonna have some of its challenges of its own. So excited to see that. We're gonna be back next week, same place, Knapp Daddy Racing on YouTube at 8:15 next week. Hopefully we'll get started a little earlier. I think I got a little sedentary with our week break that we had off, but we'll try to get it started just a little bit earlier next week for you. Have some good driver interviews, try to do some other stuff too as well, but can't wait to see everybody then. Thank you again, Sunbelt Rentals, for sponsoring the series here. Big shout out to Rocky. I want to give Knapp Daddy Racing our own little program, a little self-promotion here. But yeah, for the last time tonight, I've been John Smith.
And I've been Hunter Foley.
We will see you guys next time.
Take care, everyone.